All right, so welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to stream for 30 minutes to an hour, and we've got a variety of topics. But this first topic that we are going to get into is about the brand new Tesla Model 3, the Project Highland that is basically confirmed at this point from multiple sources. But the real question is when, and it seems like it's been spotted, or at least the production lines of it are coming. And so we'll talk about what we know so far. And does this change the decision on whether you should buy a Tesla Model 3 now or wait, or really what's the deal with it? I'll give you my thoughts on it as well. But before we get into that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. And as an added benefit to these live streams, if you guys type in any questions in the chat, I will get to it at certain parts in the video, and I'll answer anything that you have about Tesla buying and all that stuff. So let's just jump into it. This is a article from Teslarati. Shout out to the team at Teslarati for always posting good stuff. They actually reached out about the CVRP project, which we'll give an update on that as well, because I've got some updated news on that. And so this is the article. Tesla continues Project Highland manufacturing line installation at Fremont. So Tesla, of course, is coming out with this Project Highland, and the things that is going to be updated with it, as at least rumored, is the update to the Model 3, of course, with a new infotainment system, upgrades, interior simplifications, and reduction of components. Some of that stuff kind of worries me a little bit, like simplifications and reduction of components. That to me, that sounds like take out all the cool features, or take out some of the features and make it just like streamlined or efficient, but who knows? We'll see, right? I mean, Franz, the chief designer at Tesla, did say, his most exciting Tesla, or the one he's most excited about in terms of design, is finished and ready to come out. And so that could be the Cybertruck, but we already kind of know what that Cybertruck looks like, right? But the one thing we don't know is this Model 3 Highland. And so this is cool to see that, installation lines are being installed at Fremont, and maybe it's going to be this year. I was definitely speculating maybe quarter 4 of this year, but maybe it'll be quicker. Maybe it'll be quarter 3 instead. And so this is what we know, right? Jumping into Reuters exclusive. This was actually posted in December, late December, amongst all this craziness with the Tesla sales time in December. And the exclusive article was that Tesla readies revamped Model 3 with Project Highland. And the biggest thing from this article is that the Tesla Shanghai Gigafactory will put the redesigned Model 3 into production in the third quarter of 2023. Now, for a while, we've noticed that China always beats, America a little bit. They're a little bit quicker with, features coming to Model 3 or Model Y. So, there's a good chance that China will get the Tesla Model 3, the Project Highland before, and then we'll get kind of, the afterwards in quarter 4. And that'll be a good time. That'll be a crazy time. And that's for sure, because quarter 4 is always the biggest quarter for Tesla. And that's a lot of excitement for sure this year for Tesla. I mean, we've already come out of the gate in January with these massive discounts on the Model Y. Model 3, not so much, but of course the long range. And maybe this is why Tesla has held on to, putting the Model 3 long range back into the queue, right? They've kind of held this tight, right? They have not put this on the website. You can't order it, but you can of course get one if you need to. Like, there's still inventory out there, and of course the price of a Model 3 long range is $49,990. And let's just take a look to see, is there there's only 4, so the long range is it's certainly in demand right now. It seems like the Model Y long range, any Model Y under 55k, and any Model 3 that's a long range is pretty much in demand at this point. And so there's a good chance, like maybe Tesla's waiting for. I mean, we all thought, or at least I definitely thought they were going to bring back the Model 3 long range after the new year with this new pricing. But there's a good chance maybe they're retooling the lines and that they're going to bring that Model 3 long range back with the Project Highland. So the big question is it Q3 this year or is it Q4? I mean, hopefully they wouldn't give China, an early advance preview. They'd, give it to the US at the same time. But, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, there's certainly colors, right, in the Europe market, that red and that silver on the Model Y that we don't have. But taking a look at Model 3 inventory, it's, starting to trend down just a little bit. You can see yesterday we were at 367 vehicles and now down to 322. But certainly that's the key, right? Model 3 long range sells. Model 3 standard range pretty much sits in inventory. So my recommendation, if you need a car right now, I pretty much said that from the get-go. If you need a car, just go ahead and take advantage of the tax credit. If you can't wait all the way until December, because, Tesla delivery times and Tesla, preview times, it can take all the way to maybe even November, December for this new Highland. I mean, we don't know, right? They're going to wait until the best time. If they start to see Model 3 long range sales start to slump, then maybe they'll release some sort of new upcoming news, because they're going to try and probably keep tight-lipped about this Project Highland as much as possible, because they do not want to mess with any of these sales. And that could be why they dropped the Model 3 performance to this lowest price that it's ever been, and it qualifies for the tax credit, because they know that this, most likely this Highland is going to come out, and this old Model 3 is going to be stale news. Specifically, this is only the Model 3. There's been no rumors of the Model Y Highland or any revamp on that. But usually if we take a look at how this works, like the Model 3 came out, 2017, and now we're in 2023. So that's six years, give or take, of a model life. And so the Model Y, you should expect, give or take, 5 to 6 years before they, any talk of refresh or anything like that. But, that's traditional car manufacturers and how they work. Tesla kind of does whatever they want. So, we could easily see a refresh Model 3 this year, and then Tesla's like, you know what? Let's just refresh the Model Y next year. But usually the cadence is that's how it's done. But you never know with Tesla. They could pull something out of the hat at the end of the day. But we're gonna jump in some of the comments and some of the questions. But before we get into that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or financing a Tesla. And after you schedule the call, you get a link to. After you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price. So definitely check it out if you're interested. But yeah, let's jump into some of the comments. Welcome, Alexis. Welcome. Is it going to be a refresh Model Y? And probably not yet, but we have no idea. C user, welcome. CR, is it true $3,000 trade-in credit or supercharging? Yes, but only for the Model S and the Model X, and you have to trade in a Tesla. Hopefully they bring that out with the Model 3 and the Model Y, but probably not yet. Alexis, I just drove a Tesla for the first time today. Why is the steering wheel so fat? You don't like that? It's got a good, meaty feel to it. You feel like you're grasping onto like the performance wheel, but yeah, it's different for sure. A little bit, it's thicker, I would say. See, user, my delivery date was moved at a later date. Ooh, okay. Did it get pushed to April or March, or what's the deal right now? Reuters, thank you, Cake, for coming in. Vietnamese style. Love driving my Tesla. I'm in mine right now. Nice. Are you at a supercharger or charging up somewhere? The e-Golf is a smoother drive. Come at me, bro. No, I do not disagree. Teslas have harsh suspension, that's for sure. I try and warn everybody. I don't know if a VW Golf is better, but it potentially could be. Eric, do you think once the Cybertruck is released, prices on the Model 3 and Y will drop more? Yeah, there's potentially a good amount of people that currently could have Model 3s and Model Y and will sell/trade up to the Cybertruck. That's for sure. So that could bring in a flux of people that sell their 3 and Y, which would then lower market demand, or more flood of vehicles coming into the market. So definitely I could see that. Delivery estimated window has been moved from January, February to March. Ooh, okay. It sucks. No repercussion. Ordered Jan 14, California. Feb March, you should be okay. It's just kind of how like Tesla works with their cadences logistics. So you still should be okay with March, but we have no idea what's going to happen, right, with the tax. Happy Hippo. Hi, all made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the party. We've just finished our first topic on this project Highland manufacturing line that's been continuing installation. And so what we know so far is Q3 with China production, and that could be USA at the same time, but we don't know. Maybe it's the same time as well. We have no idea at the moment. They are like flight itineraries. They get delayed without any delay insurance. Yeah, that's 100% true. Someone actually, so I've been recommending people to go into Tesla stores and go and try and lock down a VIN. And people have been getting back to me from the people that have scheduled calls and said that it worked. But then someone just comments on a video, as an Tesla, they quote, as an Tesla employee, this does not work. Please stop recommending it. I was like, oh, okay. I guess it doesn't work. I don't know. I was confused on that, but maybe they're not a Tesla employee at all. I will not take it after that. I've already applied for the loan. I have 60 days max. Yeah, you gotta be careful with loans, 30 to 60 days for 100%. 2012 Model S still hasn't had a full change. I mean, it got refreshed in 2022. So it gets, and then it also got refreshed in 2015, 2016. So they do slight stuff. They don't necessarily like change it completely. That's for sure. They'll just like made a slight adjustment. And so the Model 3, I guess, hasn't. Yeah, you're right. Tesla gets mad at people who delay delivery, but what about those who want delivery? Tesla needs to get their act together. Yeah, 100%. I can completely agree. It's a roll. Tesla is like ordering and buying a Tesla is like 100% like, like a roller coaster, ups, downs, lefts and right. It's pretty insane. That's for sure. Remember you're buying a Tesla for the Tech NSC network. Yeah. Supercharging network and the just constant updates with the information in screen and technology and stuff that once you drive it, you get what we keep talking about. It's just intuitive and it makes sense like 99% of the time. And then when it doesn't make sense, they'll just come out with another update to fix what didn't make sense with whatever updates, whatever update worked out. Going to the store does work. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It worked for you. It worked for tons of people. That's for sure. But maybe it doesn't work on some models, but who knows? Who knows at the end of the day? All right, so welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today on our second topic, we are going to talk about the EV pricing war and how two companies have come out and said that they will not follow Tesla and lower their prices. And so, this is good. We need balance, right? Some companies, that will come out, like Ford yesterday dropped their price by almost $6,000 on their Mach-E. And then we have these two other companies that are saying, you know what, we're okay. We've got demand. We've got good demand on our vehicles. And at the same time, like even if they did drop the price, like dealers are just going to mark it back up. So really it does no good for anybody unless they can get an agreement that the dealers won't mark it up after that. So we're going to jumping into these two manufacturers that will not drop the lower prices, and we'll just briefly touch on it and see. But welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another channel. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just talking about getting the best deal on your Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is an article from Drive Tesla. It just came out earlier today. General Motors will not follow Tesla and lower prices on its EVs. And here's a quote from the CEO. Mirabar says General Motors will not be lowering prices on their electric vehicles following Tesla slashing their prices on their EV lineups as much as 20%, anywhere from $3,000 to $20,000 on across all Tesla lines. The decision not to adjust its pricing strategy follows a similar move from Volkswagen, but is in contrast to Ford's price cuts yesterday. Let's see what the quote is here. When we look at our strong product portfolio and interests and the interest that we have at the prices that we've already announced, we feel like we're well positioned. We think right now we're priced where we need to be. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like what vehicles does GM actually have right now, right? They have So yeah, right here they only have 4. They've got the Bolt EV and EV, which are pretty much what, $19,000, $27,000. Like you can't really lower that anymore. It's already like the best price EV probably out there next to like the Nissan Leaf. You got the Cadillac Lyric, which that vehicle, I gotta say, I saw that vehicle at the auto show. And I was impressed. It's definitely got a good wide stance to it. It feels like a real SUV. And for the price of $62,000 or $63,000, it's not terrible. And you get 3 years of free supercharging, or oh sorry, not supercharging, 3 years of Electrify America charging, or whichever what it was. Let's see, 190 kilowatts. You get something. 2 years of unlimited public charging, 2 years of unlimited public charging, EVgo fast charging. Okay, so yeah, that's not bad. I mean, that's decent value if you don't have a home setup charger at your house and you need some time to figure that out, or if you don't want to spend the $1,000 to $2,000 on installing a charger at your house, it can certainly make sense. But I saw this vehicle, it felt it definitely felt like luxury, because that's the difference, right? Like, as much as I love Tesla, and I've had 4 Teslas now, it's not a luxury car. It's a luxury technology car with the intuitiveness and all that stuff. But this is actual true luxury. I mean, it is American, Cadillac luxury, different taste, right? But I can see why they wouldn't want to lower the price on this. That's for sure. I mean, and also because they probably put a bunch of money into this to get it up off the ground and into selling, and so they need to make sure they can sell these. And there's probably a huge waiting list of these already that hasn't been delivered, so there's no reason for them to lower the price until they fulfill and fill that backlog of everybody that needs to take delivery. And then of course the Hummer EV, I don't even want to look at that. I know that's like an insane priced monster of a EV. So, of course they're not going to lower any of these prices. All these vehicles have hype already, right? The Bolt EV is a cheap EV. Like, that's going to have demand no matter what, because it's, basically the cheapest EV you can get. Cadillac Lyric is out, but not really out. It's probably got a huge waiting list. And the GMC Hummer EV is basically a flex. Like, why would they need to lower that price? Because there's the people that are buying that probably don't even care of what it is. Now I'm curious, like, Hummer EV price. Anybody want to guess? 88,000, 100,000, 110. Oh, that's the first edition model. So what is it like? What's the cheapest Hummer EV at the moment? I remember, I feel like I've looked at this and I just briefly just glossed over it, because I was like, no, I would never. I mean, I saw this vehicle also at the auto show, and it's insane. You think it's gonna be like, you think the size of it, but it is like even bigger than what you could possibly imagine. Okay, so $87,000. That's a lot of vehicle for $87,000, and that's if you can get an MSRP, no markup, and all that jazz. That's for sure. But it makes sense. Of course, GM's not going to reduce any of the prices, because their portfolio, their limited 4 vehicle portfolio. I say limited, but of course Tesla has 4 vehicles as well. Their built out portfolio, that wouldn't make sense for them, and I probably would be in the same. Volkswagen, though, let's take a look. Volkswagen, quote, has no plans to cut EV prices in response to Tesla and Ford. CEO Olivier Blum told German newspaper the company has a clear pricing strategy. We trust in the strengths of our products and brands. But that's the question. Like, what vehicles does Volkswagen have? I mean, there's tons, right? Volkswagen owns, of course, Volkswagen themselves. They have Porsche. They have Audi. I could see why they wouldn't want to lower some of the prices of all the other ones. But then, I don't know, like, taking a look at the e-tron, that's, it's a nice vehicle. I'll give it that. But 226 range, and can anybody guess what the MSRP of an e-tron is? Spoiler, it's ×2 almost of what a Model Y is, 70,800. So, the question is, and when I say ×2, like factoring in Model Y long range, 50,990, because that's the standard range minus the tax credit, like $43,000. So like what, 1.7 for a base e-tron at 70,800. So I mean, yes, arguably a luxury car. but is it almost 2x the value? I don't know. But then we have the VW ID4. I've still yet to try one of these vehicles. I know Alexis, you have, so you could probably give us now that you've driven both the VW ID4 and the Tesla, now you can give us your feedback on which one you like more, because this is like this is really the only competitor to, not only, but this is Volkswagen's competitor to the Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y, and it's well priced. I gotta give it to that. It's certainly well priced, especially the standard at $39,000, the Pro at $44,000, basically standard range pricing. And yeah, I mean, especially some of these you can lease them and get that full tax credit, and so some of these lease payments might be what, $300-$400 a month. Like, I've still yet to see an of advertised lease payment, but because the problem with all these other manufacturers is you've got the dealer in the way that could mark up or charge you for warranties and stuff like that. So even if the manufacturer advertise a $449 a month lease, to actually get there is the better question. And because dealers are going to mark up certain things, they're going to make you purchase, certain products, and that's where it's going to get, jump it up to $500, $600, $700 a month. That's for sure. So big news. I would say the EV pricing war, or maybe not even a war, because it's a battle, right? It's just basically Tesla versus Ford at this point. I don't think Hyundai, Kia, or any of those battlers have said anything, but it sounds like they probably won't, because they're well priced as well. The only ones, Lucid dropped $7,500, BMW dropped in another market for their iX3, but I don't think we'll see anything else. Actually, the big player, the other one, Mercedes, because they've got a couple. They've got the EQS, the EQS SUV, the EQB. They've got some vehicles that are, certainly up there as well in terms of pricing. And so we'll see if they actually will come to the play and battle it out with Tesla. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff on the EV Tesla pricing, or the EV pricing war. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Which vehicle is the best out there? I mean, certainly I feel like a lot of you that come into this channel and videos recommend Tesla, because Tesla just makes a lot of sense most of the time. That's for sure. But yeah, let's jump into some of the comments and some of the questions. But before we get into that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description, there is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you schedule the call, you get a link to my buying guide, which gets you links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price, including a couple of credit unions on the list that have interest rates as low as 3% to 4%, all the way up to 80 something months. But definitely check out if you're interested. But let's jump into some of the comments. Let's see. Good idea. Do you use an e-scooter if you need to supercharge? Sometimes supercharge could be on the other side of a giant center or store, restaurant you're going to. I actually thought about that, but I really thought of that with level 2 charging, not supercharging. Supercharging is what? It can be done 10 to 30 minutes. So e-scooter, I mean, by the time you get to your destination on e-scooter, you have to go right back. But level 2, I could see that working, right? Because you can probably plug in for 3, 4, 5 hours, scooter to where you're at, and then come right back. CR, if the Honda Prologue comes out, will it be a direct competitor to the Model Y? That's a good question, because I remember I saw the concept for this, but okay, so it's 2024 estimated 45,000. Yeah, this would be a competitor to the Model Y. I mean, if it comes out at 45, most likely this will come out at 50, maybe even 55. I mean, we have the Toyota BZ, that's like a 42 to $50,000. So it would probably be right in line and competitor to that. That's for sure. Hummer, exactly. It worked for me. Yep. GM gives free charging or $1,200 to $1,500 to install a charger. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal, actually. I don't know which one I would actually take, because of course $1,200 to $1,500 it could be enough if your panel has enough space and all that stuff. But and there's a lot of cities that will also pay as well. Like Los Angeles pays up to $1,000, so it might be worth taking the free charging as well. Churro, I placed a Model Y long range order on January 13th and finally taking delivery to 5, got VIN 123 a day after I paid in full. I don't know if that made a difference, but I feel like it was. No, yours is pretty much standard. You paying cash does not usually change anything, but if anything, they would want you to take delivery at the end of January because then they could count that deal towards January about the end of the month. But it doesn't actually update everything. Chuckles, does anyone know what's happening with some new radar device that was supposed to be added to their vehicles in January? Did it happen? I missed it. They were supposed to announce or talk about something at the earnings call, but it looks like kind of glossed over and it wasn't talked about at all. So maybe it'll be something later on after that. 100K for the Hummer. Yeah, exactly. Dirty Dog Draws. Just picked up my Model Y long range Vallejo Tesla, 5961 out the door. Oh my God, I am in love. Yep. Congrats. Enjoying good health. Check out the videos I made a video like what 3 services to do to your brand new Tesla, where I recommend tints, ceramic, PPF, and all that stuff. Isn't the Hummer cheaper than the Model X? Yeah, I guess if you can get one at MSRP, if that's for sure. Isn't the Model X the same price as the EV Hummer? Yeah, I guess so. You guys are completely right. These CEOs are saying they're not cutting the prices because they can't afford to cut prices. They would not make any money. Yeah, it's tough because they don't want to get into this cycle of the race to the bottom of competing against Tesla, because Tesla seems like they got deep pockets and deep margin per car. I mean, what was one study that they can make profit anywhere from $9,000 to $15,000 per car, where the other OEMs, other manufacturers, only $1,000 to $2,000, maybe $3,000 profit per car. So they don't want to get into that war. That's for sure. Bolt is the worst EV car that I've ever driven. ID4 is okay, but Ioniq 5 and Tesla Model Y are my favorites. Nice. I went to go check out an Ioniq 5, but I didn't actually drive it. But for some reason, I want to like that car for sure. ID4, okay, not bad. But Model Y, yeah. If you're okay with the suspension, everything else is great. Or actually, if you're okay with the suspension and the build quality, that's for sure. I'm actually excited for the Hyundai Prologue now. Okay, nice. I didn't really look into this one. Usually I don't, pay any attention when I really don't like concept vehicles when manufacturers release cars like way before it's actually out. Like it doesn't, that's why I kind of like Tesla style. They don't announce anything until it's like actually out. Or because like they've been tight-lipped about the Model 3 Highland, right? That project, that new one that's coming out later this year potentially, but they don't announce anything until it's actually out, like actually about to be delivered. I mean, even with all these like new features like matrix headlights, new taillights, charge doors, all this stuff, all this like small stuff that they like add to and upgrade to their Tesla Model Ys and 3s, they don't announce any of it, they just do it. And then I guess I love that execution style of Tesla. But some people don't like it, that's for sure. Alexis, e-tron only seems expensive because Tesla dropped prices 13K. That's true. Good catch. Have you seen the Cadillac Celeste? Cadillac Celestiq? What is this? Is this actually coming out though, or is this like another concept? Because this what? It's supposed to be Model S competitor. Whoa. $300,000. Okay, opt out. Yeah, that's I mean, what market is that for? What does that even compete against? Like there's no other sedan. I don't even know. I don't know. Watch out for February 7th. Remember, Tesla filed documents regarding a new sensor being implemented to Tesla and asked for extension for the anonymity of the new tech until February 7th. Oh, okay. So that's that FCC Tesla Vision Radar extension, I guess what you're saying. Okay, maybe they'll talk about it at Investor Day. I guess that's the next thing we will be looking at. e-tron is not expensive. The BMW iX is like 80K, but has an ugly grille. Yeah, I cannot get on board with this BMW. The way that they're going with these huge grills and all that stuff, it just does not make sense to me. That's all. ID4 is very comfortable. Autopilot comes standard and stays on with the lane changes. I much prefer to Tesla's ride. I would buy over Tesla, and I did, even missing out on the cooler tech. Good. That's good to hear that review. Yeah, because I still have yet to drive one. I need to go check one out and just to see it, touch and feel it and all that stuff. Because it seems like a decent deal, but there's no charging, right? But I mean, if you can get a good lease on it, at the end of the day, whatever's the lowest payment is the best. Especially if you lease, because you can just get another one after that in like 4 years, whichever it is. All right, water break. Let's see. I'm getting 2 things so far. There was another topic that I wanted to get into, but let me make sure I got the guess I can wait on that. We'll get into this other one first, but this next topic. So welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. This next topic, I wanted to give some sort of a warning to people that bought last year. And so my tagline is, I guess, do this now if you bought a Tesla last year at a higher price. This is probably something key that I feel like no one is actually talking about the higher prices. Everybody, and we're all talking about, getting some sort of credit or something like that. But I want to make sure that all of you are covered, to make sure if you bought a Tesla that last year, if something were to happen, I want to make sure that you're covered with your car. So we're going to get into it. But before we get into it, if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on your Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. And I will get to all comments and chats to answer any of your questions during these live streams. I think that's like the added benefit to these live streams. We'll get to that. But let's get into it. So if you bought a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y or even Model S or X last year at new retail price, at those elevated prices, you absolutely need to do this now. And what I mean by do this now is you need to check your insurance coverages to make sure you have gap coverage onto it, because worst case scenario, if you were to get into some sort of accident and and the thing is, Teslas, from what I've seen, they total out a lot easier than other cars because of the battery at the bottom. If there's any sort of slight damage under the undercarriage, body shops, and they just don't even want to mess with it, because it's just too much liability to try and mess with that. And batteries are expensive. Like for some reason, the number of like $13,000 to $20,000 for a battery replacement comes to mind, but who knows on that. So you need to make sure that your coverages are set. So call your insurance companies, call your financing companies. I guess it's like a pretty serious topic, so sorry for throwing that out there. But this is the reason why. So if your car gets totaled, this is just something I Googled quickly. You need to understand that your insurance only pays the actual cash value of your car to you, to basically try and make you whole. So if you finance an over an amount, so let's say usually banks will allow you to finance 100 to 120% of the MSRP. So if you finance the car that was like, let's say worst case scenario, you bought a Model Y Performance, right? Let's say you bought a Model Y Performance, it was $70,000. You were able to get 120% financing. So $77,000, 110, 100, whatever. Let's say it was like, you put 0 down, or maybe you put 10% down, give or take. And let me just pull up actual cash value, or let's see, let me pull up MMR, where the auction values is trying to give you some insight of what type of value they might actually give you. But so when let's say you have a balance on a 2022 Tesla Model Y Performance, and it's $75,000. Do you put like a couple $1,000s down, and you're financing over 72 months? Let's say, next month something happens, worst case scenario, like of course, knock on wood. And this is the values of what that vehicle is right now. Of course, we all know that Tesla dropped the price significantly over the past couple of weeks ago. And so of a 2022 Tesla Model Y Performance, the wholesale value is anywhere from $50,000 to $54,000. Of course, that's when you negotiate back and forth with your insurance companies. You might even have to hire a lawyer. But actual cash value could be, slightly higher than that. Maybe retail value of like 57, 58, 59. But if you paid $75,000, or if you have a loan for $75,000, your insurance is not, that's where you have to make sure your coverages for your insurance are going to cover all the way near that. And that's where gap comes into play. Certain gap rules will allow you to they'll cover up to 120%. So, there could be a lot of different variables here, but my PSA is, if you bought last year, if you paid a higher price than what it is now, that's kind of the scary thing with Tesla just dropping prices like this overnight, is they can essentially affect the value of cars that they sold in the past. But call your insurance, call your financing companies, and make sure that you are covered, just in the case of, knock on wood, that something were to happen, and you're safe. Because the worst case scenario is you owe $75,000. car's totaled out for just maybe a small fender bender, but small fender bender, but it hit the battery, and then insurance is only going to pay you out 60. So now you're stuck with a $15,000 debt that you can't replace and any sort of stuff. Of course, like if someone hits you, then that could be a different story, but then you got to make sure that person has the right coverages. There could be a whole variety of mess here. So that's my PSA. Just make sure to call your insurance companies, make sure to call your finance companies, because you can actually buy gap from your finance company, or you could buy gap from your insurance company. So there's different ways to go about it, but of course there's fine print. Some gap only covers up to 110, 120. There's so many different ways this could go. So that's my PSA. Do this now. If you bought a Tesla last year at the higher prices, if you bought one this year, I mean, there's always an argument for gap at the end of the day, especially if you put, the minimum down, like $1,000-$2,000 down, because gap is relatively inexpensive. Like I think last time I bought gap, it was like $600 for the 2 to 3 year coverage. So that's a small price to pay, knock on wood, for something to happen. So that's my recommendation. Hopefully that makes sense, because the worst that could happen, I want to look out for all of you, that's for sure. And if you don't agree with the price decreases and how you feel Tesla should do something, we do have this change.org petition out there. Definitely sign out, because I really feel like Tesla should do something for owners that paid a higher price last year, whether it's giving full self-driving, supercharging, a discount on enhanced autopilot, something. And shout out to the 6,900 people that have signed so far. We're almost at 7,000, almost at this next goal of 7,500. But that definitely for sure, check it out. It's change.org/Tesla refund. Share it, go on Twitter. I share it on Twitter every other day, Facebook groups, everywhere that if you agree that Tesla should do something, that's for sure. Let me know if you have gone to your insurance or your financing companies and talked about getting gap. Let me know like how much you're paying for it, because it should cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000, and no more than that, because then you have to really see if the math makes sense. If they're charging like $5,000, then you might as well just like self-insure, or it depends on the threshold, right? But hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you'll look at your numbers and see what makes sense to you. And hopefully we're all covered at the end of the day. But we're going to jump into some of the comments and some of the questions. But before we get into that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits. So definitely check it out. All right. Mercedes is offering 2-day test drives on their EVs. Whoa, maybe I should go to because I do want to check out that EQS. It looks cool. It looks cool for sure. Roadster booking seems to be open now. Oh, you don't say. Let's go take a look at where you got to go to, like here, right? I think it was always open though, right? You could put like $50,000 or $150,000, $5,000. Oh, okay. Oh, 5,000, then give us another 45,000. I think this was always open, but not sure. Should I get a Tesla if I live in an apartment building without charging options? Tough. Download this app called Plug Share. It's a crowdsourced application that allows you to see all the free chargers, paid chargers, all that stuff around you, so you can see what's available around you at that's your charging infrastructure. What's the new car you got? Well, it's a Tesla. That's for sure. Yeah, my brother-in-law has a Bolt EUV. Yeah, I mean, you cannot beat the price of what a Bolt is. And, if I, was in a situation where I just needed a cheap daily driver, I would still buy a Tesla Model 3. Wow, I did not know that. A house. Exactly. Dennis should get his hands on a Rivian and do a review for us. I like that idea. And I do have a Rivian on order, but I'm not that special to get bumped up like some other people out there. But it's out there. It's in the queue. I mean, maybe 2024. But every day I double think. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just cancel it, because it's one thing to own a cool EV. It's the other thing to have a built out charging network. And of course, Tesla has a decent charging network. Do you think the Model Y will have another price cut before the end of the year? Model Y long range? No. Model Y performance? No. Model Y standard range? No. I actually think Model Y long range will go up in price, $500 every couple of weeks. So we'll see if that actually happens, because the demand right now for Model Y, any Model Y under 55K it's like hot fire right now. Model Y long range, any Model Y under 55K is sold instantly. Model 3 long range sells pretty quickly too. Model 3 standard range, that's where I see the price actually coming down. Baka's World, do you have strong proof Tesla applied to the CVRP? Talked to a Tesla advisor, said, and they left the chat after I asked. Maybe Tesla told advisors not to talk about the rebate until CVR approved Tesla. And that's kind of, I mean, Tesla advisors, chat advisors will leave the chat no matter what, or not no matter what, will leave for a variety of reasons. I'm not sure if it's just because of that CVRP question, but yeah, they'll leave for a variety of certain reasons. That's for sure. Well, let me switch back. Yes, I have screenshot proof. Let me switch over. Oh, I can't show it because the person that sent it to me asked me not to show it, but that was going to be the next topic, because I was discussing back and forth. Well, I even can't show the screenshot here as well, but he did give me an update, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to talk about it, because it's a big update for people talking about the CVRP. But let's get some of these through these questions and comments first. David, no Tesla dealers in New Orleans, need to go to pick up my Model Y from Jackson, Mississippi next week. 3-point hour. Whoa, that's a long drive for sure. Alexis, have a good night. Thanks for jumping in. Did you tag Elon with the petition? Yeah, I tagged him and I tagged Tesla, I think. But let's do it again. Why not, right? Let's see here. Elon. Or I guess let me repost. I'm going to do an update, that because we're almost at 7,000. Once we hit 7,000 signatures, I will do an update and then tag Elon. So that way he probably sees it. He's like, whatever. Just some guy. Jessica, with New Jersey's $4,000 incentive, the total price of lease is $16,200. Is that a better deal than buying a 3 standard? Yeah, I mean, the New Jersey lease is a pretty strong. It depends, right? If you are someone that keeps your car 4 to 5 years plus, and you feel like the Model 3 is that car, then buy it in New Jersey. But if you are someone that buys an iPhone every single year, loves technology, really thinks this Model 3 Highland is coming out later this year or next year, and you really want that instead, then lease it, I would say. Tower Federal Credit Union offers gap for $499. If you total your car, they will give you $6,000 down on your next vehicle. Not bad. There we go. Coming in with some knowledge. I love it. Steven, order Model 3 Performance on January 16th. Estimating delivery 2.8 to 3. Hoping it comes before a tax credit. Yeah, that's the tough part right now. That's for sure. Labor CU pays on top of insurance. Mine is $50K on top of insurance. That's not bad. I like that. That's good. Everyone coming in with some knowledge. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I think Tesla lowered prices now. Acquired trade-ins of Tesla at lowered prices will raise prices in March because of tax credit, and will sell their used inventories price higher in March for a big profit. Yeah, that could be it. But I also I could easily see Tesla just adjusting the price for whatever loss they have due to the tax credit, maybe possibly getting reduced from $7,500 down to $3,750. So it really could go either way. That's for sure. Let me see. Okay, so we're going to get into our next topic after a water break. Let me switch back to this camera. I want to see if I can pull up. What can I pull up here? Maybe I can screen cap it. No, maybe not. I'll just read it to you guys. Are you guys okay with that? I know it's just not as good, but yeah, I guess it's the problem with these updates, right? It's not as good. But all right, so welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the CVRP update. Sorry to everybody that's watching that's not California, but it seems like a lot of people are in tune with this, and we've got another update with this because a lot of people are confused on whether, since the CVRP is not approved for Tesla yet in California, so if they buy one now, will they actually get it, or should they wait? And there's a lot of things that can go into that decision. It's at the end of the day, it's pretty risky, but we will talk about this latest update that I got. Shout out to Lenny for sending this. So we'll go into it, take a look at what it says. It's just one big paragraph, so I guess we'll try and talk through it and how I actually interpret it. But yeah, if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on your Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. And as an added benefit to my Patreon, I do respond to all DMs in the Patreon. And of course, if you drop any questions in the chat on this live stream, I will address it and answer your questions after we get through this segment as well. And what else? And okay, and I know a lot of people are out there are looking for updated financing options. So probably this Thursday or Friday, I will be making an updated video of all the latest credit unions that I found that have the lowest interest rates or options. We'll kind of talk through all of that. And I think we will have a sponsor for that video that will be giving away something very cool that I think a lot of you will want, that especially a lot of you that have Teslas that maybe will go like this, the Tesla, and like plug it in. And so it's going to be, a giveaway of unspeakable value. That's for sure. So definitely hit that subscribe, because we will be doing that stream on probably Thursday or Friday. And there's going to be, a way to enter the giveaway and all that stuff. So all right, so let's just jump into it. CVRP, if you don't know, it's a rebate for Tesla or all EV buyers in California. It can be anywhere from $1,000, or I think it's like $2,000 up to $4,500 for a low income. Well, actually, some hydrogen cell vehicles, $4,500. And to get to that $4,500 for some of these, you have to have a low income, which there's certain ways, maybe self-employed people can get there. But Tesla vehicles qualify, but Tesla, the latest update was that, the first update was Tesla didn't apply for the program. And then we just got another update that like maybe the last few days ago that Tesla did apply, but now it's in the review of CVRP, the Carb Air Board or whatever, and Tesla to go back and forth for actual approval. And so the question is, if you buy an EV now, or you buy a Tesla now, will you actually be eligible to get this CVRP rebate once CVRP approves Tesla Model 3 and Model Y vehicles? Well, the first thing is you have to be mindful of the price cap. So MSRP on the Model 3, it has to be lower than $45,000. So really only Model 3 standard range base, or with just like a added color of $1,000 color, will actually qualify. So anything built above that, it's not going to qualify. Model Y, $60,000. Of course, that's, some of the Model Y long range, actually all of them actually qualify at this point for the Model Y standard range, long range, and performance. As long as you build it under, don't go past 60,000, then you could potentially qualify. But this is what I got. First quote here is, CVRP is not guaranteed. So this is addressing like if Tesla will actually get approved. And the next line was, however, if they do get a car, if the customer buys the car and within the 3-month application window, the vehicle does show up on the list, then they may be eligible. Quote, if a vehicle shows up after the 3-month window, no exceptions are made. So it's really up to the consumer how they want to handle it. OEMs are responsible for getting that vehicle on there. So the key things here is, if the buyer buys a car and within the 3-month application window, the vehicle does show up on the list, then they may be eligible. So that really, you have to make sure you're kind of looking at when your window of time or eligibility for CVRP, you can apply for that. And if the Tesla vehicle pops onto this list, then you are eligible. But basically the keywords here are this 3-month window. Take it for whatever that's worth. So it's not, it's not 100% guaranteed, but if, hopefully California Carb Air approves the Tesla vehicles and it gets on in a month and we don't have to worry about this for everybody that bought in January or February, but it could be out there. But keyword is 3-month window of when you buy, or when the application window is of when you can apply if the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y becomes eligible and gets posted on to CVRP as an eligible vehicle. I know it's pretty confusing. Hopefully we get some more information after that, but I just want to give this update on the CVRP program for sure. But we're going to jump into some of the comments and some questions. So let's see. Vel, I've been giving a 299.41 per month insurance. Seems pretty high. That actually looks high. Check out Tesla insurance if you haven't. Just picked up my Model Y Austin built standard range. It's beautiful. Congrats. If you add full self-driving on Model Y, it exceeds 60,000. Will it still qualify? Yes. Software does not push up the MSRP. So you're still good on any sort of software upgrade to that. That's how I was quoted 150. Yeah, I pay anywhere from, I'm also California, anywhere from 110 to 160. I have a friend in Maryland that pays like $50 for Tesla insurance. It's like absolutely insane. So it's definitely all over the place. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. It was quoted from Tesla directly. Ugh. Well, that's tough. That's for sure. All right. Well, thanks for watching this stream, guys. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for all the comments and the questions. Check out the links below in the description if you want to support the channel. See you guys tomorrow, probably about the same time. Oh. MSRP is now that base price of the vehicle is less than 45K. Now final after Model 3 was based then Tesla's get rebate. Huh. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe I misspoke, but taking a look at this. What the MSRP cap? Every manufacturer read price of 45,000. All right. Well, I guess we will see. Thank you, Backus World, for dropping that knowledge for us. Because it reads here have a maximum manufacturer retail price of MSRP of 45,000. CVRP eligible for 60,000. Time stamped. Order confirmation. Order agreement. I mean, it would certainly make sense for base MSRP, but then still that would still be like 40. The Model 3 standard range would only qualify because the Model 3 long range is 49,000, and pretty much all Model Ys would qualify. But yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see. We can only wait and see because A, CVRP and the CARB Air Board for California has to approve it, and then B, it's like, when do they approve it at that point, right? But thanks for watching this video, guys. Please hit that like if you enjoy it. Thanks for jumping in. I got to figure out what my poll is for tomorrow, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.